and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and it's time to do another section on my Heaven and Earth design, starting this as I mean to go on. So I have been getting pretty much a section a day done. As I'm filming this, as last time, so I'm filming this on the Sunday before this will go up on the Thursday. So I have done a week's worth, and this is today's section for me, rather than me doing a section this morning and then doing one for the WIP Chats. Partly because it's the weekend and I always find it a bit harder to get on and get it done at the weekend because I tend to be filming and doing lots of diamond painting bits anyway. But we are here. I have created myself a little chart. Let me just find the first colour I'm starting with. I think, in fact, while I'm doing this, I'm pretty sure there is a comment that's going to come up in a bit, and somebody did say, can't you just tap on the symbol to find the one you want? So you can tap on the symbol to search, but because I've got 4 cases, I find I'd be moving between cases by picking which colour I want, whereas if I go down the list, I'm going by case. Plus, I have to tap to search and then I have to tap to highlight, and I'd have to keep flipping between the two. So for me, as much as I am tapping a load of numbers that I know will be a waste of time, quite often I realise that that colour is not going to be in the section I'm doing. I still tap them all, bar the ones that I first off notice as 0. Because that definitely will not be in any section. But the reason I tap them all is that every now and then there is one that will throw me for a little loop. So there is 3 here that are bright pink. And I actually didn't expect them to be in the last one. It's one of the first colours, 152 or 151 or 152. I think they were 151, and I didn't expect them. And of course, when I tapped on it and they lit up, I was like, oh, okay, I've got some of that in this section. So I do tend to tap on them all, and I find it's easier than trying to, well, one, it's easier than flipping between the search button and the highlight button. I can just keep it on the highlight button and just tap, 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 and it will tell me them. Plus, it saves me moving from one case to another, which is actually okay if I had all cases sort of out and open and ready to use, but I don't. I have one case here and the rest are stacked. They're stacked in the corner, and I'll get to them, I'll unstack them as I go along. Tends to be the way I work. So I have tried the other way back when I first got this tablet, but I did find that doing it this way became a lot easier for me quite early on. Say mainly because I have the 4 cases. Though I do still every now and then throw myself a little loop and still miss one as I'm flipping through them, maybe because I'm going through them too quickly, thinking that I've got them all and I've not, or thinking that I don't have that colour and I actually do. But yeah, most of the time this is the way that works best for me, and primarily it's because I don't have to flip between the search function and the highlight function, because the amount of times that I forget and then I have to find the symbol that I'm working on again and tap that symbol again to be able to do it correctly yeah, it's just not worth that extra messing about. I'd rather just keep tapping down the list and getting them all that way instead. Okay, my stopper fell out. Make sure I put my stopper back in before I go tipping my diamonds everywhere. But I hope everybody is doing good. I will show you my little chart I made when I've finished this section, because I will be able to fill it in as done. But we're on quite a big section now of sort of the middle of the tree. I'm hoping this might be one of my quicker sections. Not because I don't like doing WIP and chats, I do. But this is my second one today. I have just, as I'm filming this, I've just finished filming my logbook video. I've decided to film in a little bit of a different order today. So I decided to film my WIP and chat. Then I was going to film this Heaven and Earth design WIP and chat, thinking it would be my next longest video. So I thought I'll film the long ones, because then when I start running out of steam, I will only have shorter videos to do. But I decided to do my logbook video because I had so many, and you will have seen it if you watch my videos each day. It was up last night or yesterday. I had so many logbook entries to update because I didn't do a logbook update in January because I was away. So I had 2 months worth of updating the logbook. And I had so many paintings and I didn't know where to start on my photos to print. So I thought, let's just start the video, use the power of technology to pause the video, go and print the photos, and then resume. And I'll let you guys know that in the video. But oh my goodness me, I did not realise how long that video would take. It's on my memory card, so I actually don't know how long it ended up being. I will know by the time this video goes up, but not at the time I'm filming it. And yeah, it's gone dark. Though it does go dark early in the UK, but it is now already 5:30, and I am just starting my Heaven and Earth design WIP and chat. So I'm kind of hoping that this is a quickish section, because I still have 2 more videos to film, albeit they should be shorter ones. But if for any reason they run over as well, it could be a late evening. But hey ho, I am determined this video, and indeed my Heaven and Earth design section for today, is going to be done. I've actually found it takes me a bit to sort of wake up and fully get going in the morning. Always has done, you know, need the nice cup of coffee, etc. And if I had to get up to go out, then I would. You know, it's not that I can't, but I do find often I'm not quite getting anything done, even though I might be getting stuff done first thing in the morning. So I might be all great getting the, you know, washing cleared, washer on, but then I end up wasting a bit of time, not really doing anything major productive. But I have found that I can do my Heaven and Earth design while having my first coffee. It's a task that I'm more than happy to do. Maybe it's the motivation at the moment, maybe not, who knows. But I have been doing my Heaven and Earth design in that sort of wake up time. Probably a bit more than my wake up time would have been, but it gets my Heaven and Earth design done first thing. and then I can deal with whatever life throws me. So often my Heaven and Earth design is done by 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. Section is done, and I can then start the rest of my work day as such and deal with whatever needs dealing with at whatever time it needs dealing with. And yeah, I found it's the best way to do it, which is why I think the weekends throw me off a little bit, because the weekends are a bit more relaxed. I actually don't sit down with my Heaven and Earth design with my first coffee. I just sit with my first coffee. So yeah, weekends always take me a bit longer to get going. But I suppose that's the benefit of a weekend, is it not? That it's supposed to take you a bit longer to get going. So yeah, this is my Heaven and Earth design section for today. But to go on to your comments, questions, etc., I've got a few from the Advent discussion, should I say, where I discuss the Advent calendars that we produced for 2022. And then I have some from the Heaven and Earth design section that I did last Thursday. So let's see if I can get through them all. Get that second line of black there done. So Sarah H says she loved her 12-day Advent. She said she did try to get the 24, she said, but they went so quick. She says she's looking forward to this year's Advent event. Thank you, Sarah. I'm looking forward to it too. I'm even looking forward to the time before it, the preparation. Tammy says she has a question. She says, do you always do one colour at a time? She said she's just asking. This was actually on the Vivian Fox painting that I was doing. But yes, I do tend to do one colour at a time. I find that most of the, I was going to say wasted time, but I don't know whether it's wasted as such. It's part of the process. So a very light wasted time is a lot of time during diamond painting is spent actually tipping diamonds in and out of your tray, I find. That's where a lot of time goes, is finding your next colour, getting your next colour, tipping it into your tray. Sometimes, depending on the actual painting itself, you'll find that that is actually more than diamond painting itself, than you're actually putting diamonds onto the canvas. You're spending more time messing about with diamonds into your tray and out of your tray. So the less I can do that, the better. So quite often, especially on the likes of the Vivian Fox, I will do quite a big section and stick to a colour and try and get all that colour done. Sometimes I will then cover up that section again, you know, the rest of the section that I haven't got round to the colours, and I will prefer to do that than to do a small section that I can complete. I find it's more time effective, and yeah, I find it makes the whole process quicker. The only time that I stick to a religious section size is my Heaven and Earth design. And even if it happens to highlight just one of the colour a little bit further down, and I could potentially save time by popping that one colour there, because it is a cross stitch pattern onto a blank canvas, I think it could become more confusing than helpful. So this is the painting that I religiously do this size section. 30 across, 20 down. It's a nice size that fits into my screen on my tablet. It's about an hour, just over an hour, just under an hour. That can depend on how many colour changes that I have to do, whether it's a very confetti section or whether I do get some nice big sections like I am doing now, where I'm doing a lot of one colour. So I'm currently doing a lot of black. And it really depends on how much of the rest of the section is just one colour here, one colour there, as to how quick I will be able to get it done. But yeah, I often I don't do the whole canvas though, one colour at a time. I just tend to do bigger sections than some people may choose to do, so that I can get as much of a colour down as possible. Quite often on a big one as well, I will chase a colour across. So if I have quite a lot of a few different colours, so my Vivian Fox, when I get to a red section, I will tip the red that I'm currently using into my tray, and I will do as far across as I can until it runs out of my tray, and then I'll move on to another colour. So I'm taking out that process of tipping a colour back into my pot, whatever I've got left. I'm skipping that because I just use all that I've got in my pot, and then I'll get another colour and move forward with that one. Tends to be how I work. Right, let me get rid of those straggly bits. Liz says she loved her 12-day Advent. She said it's interesting to hear the various items. She said that there were. She said she's been using her little calendar to note finishes, and also she plans to note any diamond painting events in it. She says that she will be doing, i.e. June, she says, hint hint. Yes, I still have plans at the moment to do a June waffle, which is where I take a diamond painting from my stash, and I encourage you to take any diamond painting from your own stash and section it into 30 sections and do one section a day throughout the month of June. I find it's good fun. I enjoy doing a WIP and waffle a day. It is tiring. It is tiring because it takes, I tend to do the waffles in the evening, so it tends to take a bit of my evening time, but I get so much more back than what I lose that I absolutely love doing them. So yes, June waffle. I have all plans to do June waffle. Okay, look, all that black filled in. That's a nice good chunk. And now this is where we play the hopping game. Because while it's not likely for a lot of these colours to be in here, it can occasionally throw in a colour that I am not expecting. So I like to hop through them until I get to a colour I expect to be in there, like this 400. But there is a little bit of orange coming down here, and looking at that, there is a few different oranges that are coming in as well. Sarah, she says, thank you, she says, so much for doing this chat about the Advent calendar. She said she really enjoyed it. She said she is curious. She said, have you ever personally tried the metal angled placer? I have tried an angled placer. It was metal, but it wasn't one of the individual metal tips. It is something that I keep meaning to use and to try. There's one reason I'm nervous. I'm actually nervous about trying it. And it may seem a very, very silly reason. It probably is a very, very silly reason. Is quite a few people that have used angled placers have said how much they love them and wouldn't want to go back to a straight placer after using an angled placer. And I don't know if I'm up for changing all of the pen tips on my pens to angle placers if I end up feeling the same. So yeah, a very, very silly reason for it, but I also think quite a valid reason. I have a lot of pens. I have a lot of pens. And if I end up falling in love with an angled placer, I will want to change them all, because I will not want to avoid using a pen because of the tip it has on it. And that's what has stopped me, giving them even just a full session of diamond painting with. I have had a go with one on a pen that I was gifted that came with an angled tip as part of it, and I did like it. So one of these days I will probably do it and never look back, and it'll be one of those things that I wish I'd have done ages ago. It took me a while to do the glue dots, not because I didn't believe what people were saying, but it was just getting round to, sometimes it can just take me so long to just order the glue dots at the time. This was before we found a supplier for them, so it just took me a while to actually get around to getting them and giving them a proper go. Well, I have done that one. But yeah, and I've not looked back since. So I've ended up getting glue dots in pretty much every single pen tip that I can now, apart from the ones that are fixed in pens. But yeah, I fear there could be very drastic changes happening if I end up giving the angled placers a go, which could be bad. Okay, I've got a couple of bright reds, so I'm just tipping them into the lid of my pot. And again, this is just trying to save time. Just trying to save, messing with the stopper and tipping them to the end of the spout, and for some reason I didn't end up marking them. Let's try that again. There are times that I would like to flip between actual symbols when it comes to this, especially when it comes to the likes of these symbols that there's a lot of. I would love to be able to just go, right, let's do that symbol because there's loads of it, and make things a little bit easier to see, clear the wood for the trees and all that. But it's not quite happened yet. But I am on number 2, and here's that orange that I was on about, that is filtering down the line. Oh, here we go. So now we now get into some of the Heaven and Earth design WIP and chat responses, alongside a few others depending on when people commented. So I read out the comments in the order that people made them. But Sarah B, she said, thank you so much for doing this chat. Oh, no, I've read that one. The cat lady, she says she loves the picture that I'm working on, but she doesn't think that she's ready for such a large project. The Heaven and Earth design is a mission in itself, I will agree. I would suggest one at a time for anybody that is going to do one. If you want something smaller, a mini project, one of the mini paintings is a good one to go for. They're a lot smaller, a bit more manageable, should we say, and definitely a lot easier to cope with. But heck, we are skipping quite a few now, aren't we? Look, one diamond of that I need. One. Just one. But no, not yet. Here we go. Here's one of my big ones. Let's get some of these gaps filled in. Quite bitty, this one though, so let's see how much I can get this wrong. Susan says that she loves this one. Thanks, Susan. And Anne Smith said that the Advent sounded really nice for both of them. Thank you. It is good to hear your responses and indeed your anticipation for next year's, whether you did or didn't get an Advent last year. It is nice to hear the feedback in relation to them. So thank you for everybody that did, have chance to comment. Karen says she loves my videos. She says she does have a question. She said, what is the picture on the tablet? She says, is it an app or software? She says it looks very interesting. So this on my tablet is an app called Pattern Keeper. It is currently, unless something's changed and I'm not aware of it, but I'd have thought it'd have popped up on the Facebook group there is for Pattern Keeper. This is an app that is available on Android. So it is not yet available on Apple. Apparently it has been in progress for quite a few years on Apple. I know there was talk of them working on an Apple version when I got it on Android, and that was a good couple of years ago. So whether an Apple app will ever materialise, I don't know. But it is available on Android. I bought this tablet specifically for this app, and I absolutely love this app. It is well worth the money. I think somebody did say it's now only a 1 week free trial, so you can download it and try it out for a week. It was 2 weeks when I got it, but somebody did say recently that it's now only a week. And then I paid $7.99 for the app, and provided I'm using the same Gmail address, that is like a lifetime one-off price for the app. And it will take PDF. It will take cross-stitch PDFs and make them into a lot more of a readable format. Now, it does need to be a certain type of PDF to work, so I highly recommend joining the Facebook group and looking at their website page so they can let you know what PDFs they support. But they do support the Heaven and Earth Design PDFs, which is what I have in here. And it allows me to search by symbol, which is great, especially when working on a painting with 239 colours. While the symbols, there's not many symbols that are similar, there are a couple that are similar. They've actually done better at making the symbols different than some diamond painting companies do when there's only 30 colours in a painting. But that besides, Heaven and Earth Design have done amazing at making the symbols as different as they can, considering they're using 239. There are a few that are very similar, but this app will pick up on the difference in those, so it will read them as different symbols, which means you don't have to panic as much about what the symbol actually is. What you're interested in is it highlighted green and do you need to fill it in? And it is made doing this pattern, especially with this many colours, but it has made doing a heaven and earth design, even my other one that only has 15 colours, it's made it so much more enjoyable, because the amount of times I would miss symbols when I was doing it with pen and paper is unreal. When I was doing it like a standard cross stitch pattern, I would miss colours so much and be pulling them back out again. And again, it's that waste of time, pulling out, you know, a pot just for that one that you've missed. I mean, I do it often enough on the printed canvases. I find I do it less on my heaven and earth design because they're bright green. It's also nice that it does fill them in with the shade of colour that you're putting down as well, so you can actually zoom out and it will show you your picture just like it's looking on my canvas. And it's really handy as well when, you know, you look and you're thinking, does that really go next to a pink colour? And you can see that, oh yeah, it does go next to your pink. So yeah, it's called Pattern Keeper. Absolutely love it. Well worth its pennies, that's for sure. Right, got another one that I've got quite a lot of. I think it's only really here that I've probably got a few colours that there's just one or two of. So that's quite good. I can get filled in these big chunks and feel like I'm making some progress. Every now and then I just need to do a little stop check. Where was I? Where am I on the canvas? I seem to have two colours in with this as well, so I'm going for the brighter red on this one, because it is supposed to be lighter than the one I've already put down. So that's what I'm going for, the lighter one, and hopefully it's right. And every now and then I just tap the tick button so it colours them in, stops me looking at them quite as much. Stephanie, she says she loves that I am working on my heaven and earth design again. Thank you. I'm really enjoying working on it actually. Sometimes I do find that while it may have been a while and I may think, oh, am I really ready to start on it again? When I actually start working on it, I do really enjoy it. So that's always good. She says she's eagerly awaiting her canvas and diamonds to start on her conversion. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once there. She says for tracking the section, she said you have left. She said you could use a small piece of canvas, she says, and pop a drill down for each section completed. I could, I'm not that organised. I did pull up something in Word. I've pulled up a table in Word, which I will show you when I've finished this section, and it works quite well. I did debate whether to put numbers on it. So the numbers from 1 to 125. So that I was actually counting how many sections in a way I've done as well, but it is in rows of 5, so it's easy to count in multiples of 5 if I want to figure out exactly how far I've got, but it's quite a nice visual aid to it as well, which again I'll show you when I've finished this section, because I need to mark it off, which is always a good part, is getting to mark a section off, as well as marking these little bits off is always fun too. Oh, see, think I got them all. And then there's that little bad boy up there, ready to be forgotten. Christine, she says she's glad that I mentioned the tips and tricks. She says the diamond painting is really much more than just placing drills on a canvas. She said it is really surprising how many times, she said, the same questions arise. She said recently, she said she read a person asking about release papers versus parchment paper. She said all plastic sheets having right or wrong sides. She says multi-placing is another area. That's an interesting subject. She said it would be really good to be able to link the answers. Link the answer to the question on Facebook. She says, i.e. release papers or sealants. I'll have to look into whether that's something that I can do, whether I can point them to the video on my website or YouTube when that happens, or whether it's something that I'd need to upload each and every video, which may or may not drive some people crazy when they end up all over Facebook. We shall have to see what I can do. Try and dig into that one and see what's possible. She says she's really glad to see me working on my Heaven and Earth design. She said she used to have to set up the painting each time, she says, and it does take away the motivation. So that she's glad, she says, that the painting is out and able to work on. Yeah, it's definitely made a difference. This painting, I do roll it up. So I do roll it together. So this one outwards and this one outwards, a bit like a upside down scroll. So I do put them together like that. And then I have the cases stacked. And it's tucked away in the far corner. So it actually doesn't take up too much space. It's not the prettiest thing to look at, but I do use it every day. And because I'm using it every day and doing some of it every day, I don't as much mind it being out. It's when I'm not working on it that it gets on my nerves being out. So hopefully it will be able to stay there until it's finished, because I will keep working and working and working on it, is my hope. And then when it comes to my second Heaven and Earth design, it's only got 15 colours, because it's the cases that take up a lot of space, really. Though they do stack, you know, they're quite wide as well to take the big space. But case number 3, and I think I'm going to be able to jump through quite a few of these as well, but I'm just keeping half an eye. Another one, only 2 of them needed. Only 2. And I've not yet got to the 2. I'm waiting to get excited and get rid of a colour. I got rid of a couple of colours last time I did a full month on my Heaven and Earth design and got to 50% last August. I managed to get rid of 2 colours completely, got them to 0. And it was like, it's so nice progress getting rid. But I've not managed to get rid of any yet. I'll be sure to let you know if I manage to get rid of one when I do my updates. But so far, no dice. Beth, she says she's glad to see this project back. Is it? Oh no, I am. I thought I was missing. I thought I'd misplaced placed a diamond somewhere then, but it's because these aren't fully marked in yet. It's enough to confuse me. So yeah, Beth says she's glad to see this one back. She says she really enjoys watching the progress on this project. Well, hopefully the year 2023 will be for you in this project as well, Beth. Hopefully you can see it through to completion is the idea. If everything goes well, there will be updates weekly on how I'm doing, so you guys can hold me accountable as well. And hopefully I'll do it justice. We shall see. Oh, here's some more of these other colours that were appearing. Linda, she says when she used to make their chocolate ripple desserts, she said we used a crushed peppermint crisp bar sprinkled on top. That's the one we use, Lynn. That's what it's called. Peppermint crisp bar. Oh, it makes it taste so amazing. I don't know if I could eat a peppermint crisp bar as a bar of chocolate, because it is quite strong on the mint, but on the ripple cake bar, makes it so nice. She said gives the top a nice little texture, she says, and a nice difference with the peppermint flavour. That is for sure. But yeah, it's a peppermint crisp that we actually use on ours. So I have brought, well, I did bring back with me, we've already had one, but I brought back 2 chocolate ripple bars and 2 packs of ripple biscuits. Sorry, 2 peppermint crisp bars and 2 packs of ripple biscuits, so that we could have the dessert twice. And it's making me want to make the other one now. Because it's so tasty. I don't normally have lots of things with cream or cream based items. Like, it's not that I don't like them, I just don't often like them in big quantities or anything. But oh, I feel like I could eat that cake for eternity. Kathy says, yippee, more whip and waffles while you work on your Heaven and Earth design project. Yes, there'll be more coming. Right, where's my 938? I think 3371 is going to be my next huge colour on this one. Let's see how many we get filled in while waiting. And they're the ones I often miss as well. That's why I need to tap on each one, because I will end up missing. Oh, that was a 0. That's not going to have any. Are we jumping all the way? Oh no, here we go. 970. A few of those in for a bit of orange. Kathy, again, she says, me again. She says she is intrigued by this chocolate ripple dessert. She said it sounds amazing. She says when she was a little girl, she said they had chocolate ripple ice cream, which was a store-bought vanilla ice cream with a ribbon of chocolate ice cream running through it. She says her absolute favourite, but they don't make it anymore. She says, welcome home and love from USA. I need to try this, see if I can make a ripple cake, or if something would work as a ripple cake with something else. Because the chocolate ripple biscuits, so they're Arnott's, ARNOTTS, I think. Ripple biscuits, which you could Google, it basically looks like a cookie. A cookie, a biscuit, just a chocolate one, not necessarily the chocolate chunks, just chocolate flavour. That's what it looks like. and it's the cream that makes it soft and gooey like a cake. But initially, my gut tells me that there are other biscuits that you could use that would have the same effect, because it's the cream that makes it, basically it just makes the biscuit soft. And normally you don't like a soggy biscuit, but for some reason this one, when it's covered in cream, is amazing. So I'm sure there must be some other biscuits that you can do it with, and still make it taste as nice. I don't know if I could find something similar to the peppermint crisp though, and that is what makes a huge difference, or I find it makes it so much nicer with a peppermint crisp on the top compared to it on its own. We only put a little bit of peppermint crisp on when we first did it, and it did not taste the same as when it had a full peppermint crisp sprinkled over the whole lot. It tasted so much nicer. So I'm not sure. If anybody knows of another biscuit that can still make a chocolate ripple cake, please let me know. And if we've got a UK equivalent to the peppermint crisp as well, please let me know, because I can't think of one. Even Fry's peppermint cream, it's not the same as the peppermint crisp. Yeah, it would be nice to know. Michelle says she loved her day 24 advent, and she will definitely be getting one in 2023. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Nellie has said, oh, sorry, let me find where I'm up to. She said she's still doing her challenge. She said she started it on the 29th of December, and she's writing this comment on the 27th of January. And she's more than halfway through, she says. So she's going well, going great guns by the sounds of it on her challenge. She says she's also going to buy a few diamond painting trays, she says, from me. She says it will be her first items that she'll buy. She says, but she'll talk to us again throughout the year, she says, from Nellie in Western Australia. Oh, thank you, Nellie. Hopefully the postage will have been sorted by the time this video goes up. But then again, I think I said that last time. And as I'm filming this, we're still waiting. But I'm waiting without holding my breath. But hopefully things will settle down. Lady Dax says she really does find it fascinating to watch me doing my heaven and earth design. Oh, I've just got a diamond that's decided to jump out of there. My finger got stuck on it. She says, and maybe she says she should think about it being just like when she used to do cross stitch. She said she's not sure if she could cope with the technical side of the chart being on the tablet. She says she loves having the extra WIP and waffles. And she says, do you have a place to hang this one when it's finished? No, I don't have a place to hang this one when it's finished. I have no idea where it will go. It will potentially fit in a place in my hall, size-wise, but it's not yet decided exactly where it is going to go, if indeed it does go anywhere. That's not yet decided. So I don't quite know yet. But my mum's doing the heaven and earth design. In fact, she's doing this one without a tablet. She does one square at a time rather than 6, and she does it with paper, on paper, and colours it in, just like we used to do with the cross stitch charts. She's got my dad to blow up one page into, I think, about 4. So one page of the large format PDF into 4 pages, and she does it that way. So for this last one, because I've pulled out the last case and I only have like 4 different symbols left on here, well, now I only have 3 symbols left on here, I am going to use the search function to find them. I just need to remember to flip back to the highlight one to mark them off. But I am doing it because it's not worth going through 50 plus bottles to find 4 or 5. It is easier to do it this way, and it works for this end part, it just doesn't work at the beginning. So yeah, maybe you could do that, Lady Dax. Maybe you could just do it the cross stitch way, just smaller sections so that it's easier to follow and to plod through. Maybe if I tap on it and then go straight back to the highlight, I'll do better. 3830. Crayla Grand says, my goodness, she says, I don't think I could follow a chart and talk at the same time. Sometimes I can't. That's why I stutter sometimes a little bit more, and I'm like, it's while I'm trying to find it. She says, the Heaven and Earth design fascinates her. She says, you work so fast. I don't know whether I work super fast, but it's definitely easier with the tablet, I must say. The tablet makes a huge difference in relation to it. But 600, oh, you can't see it. 600 stitch today, so I am now on 53.25%. So that's progress, is it not? Progress. And I've just done basically this section of the tree. But to show you my very simple, very basic, I did give it a title though. So this is the page. I chose to print it out in A5 instead of A4 because I have this little A5 clipboard. But I just drew a table in Word that was 5 across and however many I needed to be down. And when I did it, I didn't actually realise, but this is what's really quite helpful, is I actually have 5 sections across my painting. So this is half my painting in little tally form. So if I ever think, oh, did I cross off that one for today or for tomorrow? I can actually look and go, oh no, 3 across, that's right. I've got 2 sections left and I've finished this row. So it works out quite well. So I'm on 8. But even though I didn't number them up, being able to go 5, 10, 15, 20, etc. is quite easy. And I can't wait for this to be getting more and more coloured in. I'm going to use that as my motivation, I think. Now, where did I put my charts? Oh, they're here. So, where am I up to? I've just done, there's a girl, here she is. There she is. So see this little fairy here? That is this little fairy here. And then you actually can't see it in this image, but you can on here, what looks like a little swing. And then I think it might go down to some other form of fairy. But basically I'm about here on my chart so far-ish. So I've got all that amount to do and I've got all that amount done. I'm more than 50% because I hit 50% last time. But I am getting there. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me and for keeping me motivated. I will speak to you again soon.